New year, new me, but the mistakes we make stay exactly the same. Most people abandon their New Year's resolutions by the end of month 1, and it's not because they're lazy, it's because they've set the wrong goals, and that makes all the difference. Take a moment to think about the most hardworking, dedicated person you know. If I were to give them a no good, very bad business plan, not even they could make it into a success story, regardless of how hard or how much they try. It's just not gonna happen. The same applies to us, regardless of what it is you want to achieve in this upcoming year. If you were to try to build your new self on the rotten foundation that is the wrong goals, you would not get anywhere. There's only one thing in existence that can serve as a stable base when you try to pursue personal growth, and that is your values, the ideals you hold dear, the qualities that you admire about other people, the person you would like to one day become. So this video is about aligning your goals with what you're actually trying to achieve, and well, the title of the video says it, how to not set goals that are actually counterproductive to it. For context, I just had to rebuild my life from scratch. I will tell you more about it later, not relevant right now, but I have spilled blood, sweat, and tears making these exact mistakes, and I would really rather you didn't repeat them and just learn from me. Cool? Cool. A short introduction for anybody new here. Hello, I'm Silver. I talk about how you can live a meaningful, good life by being intentional in the way you pursue it, which includes mindset, managing motivation, general life advice, productivity tips, and step-by-step guides when you guys need them. So that's me. Now let's talk about how you are going to crush your goals for the upcoming year. First things first, let's talk about motivation. I have bad news and good news. The bad news is that motivation will only serve you for short bursts of really intensive work, and otherwise it's pretty bloody useless. It won't serve you, and you can't rely on it in any capacity when it comes to pursuing your New Year's resolutions, like at all. The good news is you don't actually need it, like again, at all. Let's start with an example. We have person A and person B, who technically both have the goal of losing weight. We'll get to it. Person A is so motivated, you have no idea. At 7 a.m. January 1st, they're already sweating their life out on the treadmill, doing their absolute maximum, and then they go home to eat the meal they've meal prepped, healthy food, and then get their 10,000 steps in. And you know what? Next day, they do the same thing again. And then the days go by and it's week 3 and somebody offers them a snack that they don't even actually like, but they're so mentally exhausted that they say yes and they take it. Because motivation can't last forever, and when you rely on it, your foundation will crumble. And then there's person B, who is also at the gym at 7 a.m. on January 1st, working out like their life depends on it, doing the exact same thing, working the exact same amount. But when week 3 rolls around and somebody offers them a snack, they say no, because their goal was not I want to be skinny. And they did not rely on motivation. Their goal was I want to lose weight because that's how I'll be able to run around with my kids when they play, because currently I just can't do that. And when motivation fails on week 3, that goal, the goal of being able to run around with your children, is gonna hold up and they will say no. These two people did the exact same thing and technically have the same goal, but when the moment of truth comes, one will fall and one will rise. And all that mattered is how the goal was defined. I want to be skinny is not a good enough goal. It's not a matter of moral superiority or the fact that person A's goal was superficial. I will give you a superficial goal. I wanted to lose weight because I like fashion and I could not find clothes my size. That's why I wanted to lose weight, because I like looking pretty. I like clothes. That's it. But when motivation failed me, I didn't think I want to be skinny. No, that would never have worked. I thought I like pretty clothes, and I enjoy pretty clothes more than I would enjoy a piece of chocolate cake. The only difference between myself and somebody who gave up, like person A from the example, is that the foundation upon which I've built my goal could support my weight once motivation left me. A goal shouldn't even be a number on a scale or something rigid that you have to live up to. It should be an ideal that you strive to live by. I try to make choices that put me on the road to success when it comes to that specific goal. That's how you take motivation completely out of the equation and cement the change that you want to see into your lifestyle. The second thing we need to talk about is that when motivation ends, discipline begins. Now I know that word is intimidating, but I genuinely believe that most people don't know what discipline means. I used to associate the word discipline with a dude who wakes up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym. The thing is, most of the time, these people are not relying on discipline. You see, discipline begins where your comfort zone ends. Usually, the person who wakes up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym is somebody who deeply enjoys it. They like doing it. It's not a massive effort to do so. They want to do it. The same way that somebody who enjoys cooking might have fun doing something that somebody who hates cooking will not. Again, discipline begins where your comfort zone ends. Obviously, discipline is something you have to build up to, which is why we will have cheat codes to overturn that. First cheat code, as with goals, the foundation for discipline is gonna be our values. Actually, I genuinely don't believe that you can build discipline on top of anything else. Like, doing something when you don't wanna do it is incredibly difficult, so you really have to have an excellent reason to push through. Unless you're relying on temporary motivation, it's gonna have to be your values, the only thing that doesn't shift. To prove the point, we're gonna get a bit personal. In the beginning of the video, I told you how I had to rebuild my life from scratch, and I'm gonna elaborate on that to show you how relying on my values to basically cheat my way through discipline is the only way I managed to get to where I am today. Here goes. About 3 months ago, I was dumped by my ex-boyfriend of 7 years. Completely no warning. We lived together, we had a shared bank account, it was really complicated, shared friend group, yada yada. Not fun times, do not recommend it. Within 1 week, I had moved out of the apartment, started separating our finances, found a new job. Later, I moved to a different city alone for that job. All this while managing the complexities of untangling your life from somebody you've been with for the better part of a decade. And I hate to tell you this, but it was actually really freaking easy. Like, actually, it wasn't even hard. See, when this happened, I realized, obviously, that I'm gonna crash and burn unless I have an extremely clear image of what I want my life to look like going forward. And thinking about the future, setting up goals is extremely hard to do hours after you got dumped, but I did it. But I couldn't have done that without the proper tools. So I used a tool that I had designed, luckily, like 2 weeks before that for a friend, that I call the value mapping exercise. You'd think that it's easy to know what your core values are, the things that you use as a foundation for everything you do in your life, but it's actually not the case. As in, if you were to ask me what my values were before and after this exercise, the answer would be completely different, embarrassingly enough. I did upload it, it's completely free, I'll link it down below. It's basically just a few pages long workbook that helps you identify the core values of your life. Anyway, I sat down, did that. Based on that, I built an image of what I want my life to look like, and then I just stuck to it. And again, it was freaking easy, to the point that it's embarrassing to admit. Like, obviously, heartbreak sucks, but I did not struggle. I had everything well in hand at every point in this journey, and now everybody around me tells me that I'm the happiest I've ever been, clearly. And I think I am. The point is, building discipline takes time. That's scary, but you can cheat code it in a few ways. Among them, first, rely on your values as a foundation for everything you do. It really helps. The second cheat code that does also tie into this experience that I've had is that it's really hard when you make changes in your life to completely remove something, like surgically remove something. It's much easier to replace it. An example of something not harmful to replace is I was used to spending a lot of time with my then partner. I didn't want to be lonely, so I filled my social calendar to the brim. If your New Year's resolution is to cut out somebody toxic from your life, don't wait to do that. Just fill your life with other positive people that affect you in a good way, and that will help you not feel that person's absence when you cut them off. An example for replacing something bad is another common goal is for people to stop smoking, which is incredibly hard to do. And let me tell you something, if you stop smoking and start vaping instead, that's a step forward, because it's easier to quit vaping than it is to quit smoking. Now, I'm not telling you to start vaping. I'm telling you that if you decide to quit smoking, make sure that an alternative is available to you so that if you have a difficult moment, you don't resort to breaking your new resolution. I know someone who had 2 goals for the new year, to lose weight and to quit smoking, but when they really craved a cigarette, they could silence that craving by eating a shit ton of chocolate. And you know what? They did that because their goal of quitting smoking was more important than the goal of losing weight, you know? Anticipate the difficulty you're going to have. You want to make changes A, B, C in your life. What are the pain points? Where is it gonna be difficult? How can you basically cheat your way, cheat the system to make that difficulty less difficult? Support your goals by doing things outside of them. For example, if you want to get 8 hours of sleep every night, maybe talk to a friend, maybe you can do the commitment together, right? Or if you want to spend less money, the most effective thing you can do right now before the new year begins is to make a proper budget. Eliminate uncertainty, eliminate any difficulty that you can. it's already going to be hard enough. That's cheat code number 2 for gaming discipline. Cool, so now we know how to pick goals based on our values and know that we need to rely on discipline to manage them, but we can cheat it a little, so it's not gonna be that hard. Next step is, how do we manage our goal in practice? Specifically, how do we manage really big goals that are really complex to achieve? New Year's resolutions are usually like that. There are a few ways to do so, but the first and most important one is break them down into quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and daily habits that serve those goals. If we stick to the tried and true example of I want to lose weight, regardless of how you phrase it and what value it's built upon. Let's say my goal for quarter 1 is I want to do 2 things. I want to be able to count my calories properly, and I want to be at the gym 2 or 3 times a week. That's my goal for the first quarter. I want to build that habit of doing those 2 things. My monthly goals might be, for 1 month, I want to make sure that I have everything set up with my calorie counting, and for the second month, I might want to, again, make sure that I'm at the gym the appropriate number of times. And then maybe the third month, I can, make sure that I balance cardio and strength workouts. I don't know, something like that. To support the goal of month 1, which is counting calories, I would have a weekly check-in where I see that I actually logged everything I ate. Great, that's a weekly goal that supports my general goals. And my daily habit that is derived from that is to log what I eat every day. Voila, we took a big scary goal and broke it down into something that is basically a daily habit as much as brushing our teeth. It's a bite-sized chunk of a really, really big cake. And it's much less intimidating and easier to commit to. Again, when you have a big goal, you split it into quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and daily goals or habits. That's how you win the game. Second thing to keep in mind is that you must not be rigid. Allow for flexibility. If you set a quarterly goal and after month 1 you realize that it doesn't serve your needs anymore and you want to do something different, excellent. Change it. Pivot. It's important to keep in mind that the longer you do a thing, the more information you will have. Maybe something that you thought would be time consuming is actually really not, and something that you thought would be easy is actually very hard. You have to shift your priorities around that, right? Give yourself some grace. Allow yourself to change plans halfway, as long as it's not an impulsive thing, but a calculated thing. It's okay. You're still sticking to your New Year's resolutions. You're not giving up. They're just shifted a bit. The final thing to keep in mind, well, almost, I do have a bonus tip coming up, is that the environment you're in shapes you. And specifically, my favorite expression in this context is you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. This usually applies to people. The people that you are around will make it either incredibly easy or incredibly hard to stick to your resolutions. Whatever goal you have, if you tell people about it and they laugh at you, they mock you, they try to get you to fail because it's funny, it's gonna be incredibly hard. But if you have a supportive environment, that can make all the difference. And I'm not saying, yay, I'm cheering for you people, because they're great, but that's not it. If you tell your partner that you wanna lose weight and they say, okay, cool, I'm gonna make all your meals from now, tell me what foods you like, I'm gonna make them but healthy, you stick to going to the gym, I handle the kitchen now. Oh my God, how helpful is that? That is somebody who is helping you achieve your goals, and you can do the same for somebody else. It's incredibly rewarding. I highly recommend it. Again, you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. Sometimes the thing with the biggest ROI is a change of scenery. I'm not gonna end this video on such a depressing note, so I'm gonna give you a bonus tip, which is actually a tip of advice that I got from my friend NL Silver. I will link her channel below. And that is the 5% rule. Sometimes in life you have situations where everything sucks. Be it the fact that your kitchen is extremely messy, you have screwed up all your relationships, or literally anything else. In these situations, it can be extremely overwhelming to start because really, no matter how much work you put in, you do not have the time or the energy to resolve this problem completely, and that's intimidating. This is where the 5% rule comes in. The idea is, if you can, make your situation 5% better. Just a tiny bit. If you don't have time to clean the whole room, clean one tiny corner of it. If you've set a goal for yourself for the new year and you just can't stick to it because life gave you a giant middle finger, it's okay. Do 5% better than you're doing right now. Try to do a tiny bit better, and these changes, they stack up. You wouldn't believe the power of making your life just a tiny bit better, or rather, a tiny bit less bad. every amount of effort counts. Remember that. Hopefully you feel a little more prepared to face the challenges of the upcoming year than you did before watching this video. If you're willing to share your New Year's resolutions, I would love to hear them, so share them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, I am open to questions either here or in my DMs about literally anything. If I can make your life better, I want to do it. I love you, Happy New Year, and bye bye for now.